Welcome to your rebirth. Are you ready to shed the skin of a weakling and emerge as an unbreakable force of nature, a titan among men? I am not talking about some fluffy self-help nonsense. I am talking about a radical transformation, a complete and utter annihilation of the pathetic, sniveling, excuse-making machine you currently call a self. Forget everything you think you know about feelings and being nice. Those are chains, shackles that bind you to mediocrity. We're diving headfirst into Stoic Mastery. This is a path to forging an iron discipline, a will of steel, and an emotional fortress so impenetrable that no pathetic whiner, no manipulative woman, no life crisis, nothing can penetrate it. This isn't therapy, understand? This isn't some touchy-feely group hug session. This is war. A brutal, unrelenting war against your own inherent weakness, against the ingrained societal programming that's turned men into docile sheep. Are you ready to become a predator? A wolf among sheep? Because that's what it takes. We're going to rip apart your comfort zone, expose your vulnerabilities, and forge you in the fires of adversity until you become something more, something unstoppable. Prepare for a baptism by fire. You will be tested. You will be challenged. You will be pushed to your absolute limits. And if you survive, you will emerge as something truly magnificent. A man of unwavering power and unshakable resolve. Are you ready to answer the call? Or are you going to crawl back into your hole of comfortable weakness? Understanding Stoicism, not for the faint of heart. What is Stoicism really? Listen closely, because I'm not going to repeat myself. Stoicism isn't some fluffy self-help nonsense for people who want to feel better about their pathetic lives. It's a battle-tested philosophy, forged in the fires of ancient Rome, designed to turn men into unbreakable pillars of strength. It's not about suppressing emotions, that's for cowards. It's about dominating them. Imagine yourself as a Roman emperor, a Caesar standing on the Palatine Hill, surveying your vast empire. Below you, the teeming masses, the clamoring Senate, the potential enemies at the gates. These are your emotions, unruly, chaotic, constantly threatening to overwhelm you. A weak man, a boy, would be swept away by these forces. A Stoic emperor, a man, brings them to heel. He imposes order. He dictates terms. He is the master of his internal domain. He shows absolute, ruthless control. We will explore the core tenets of this power duty. Virtue, reason. These aren't just words, they are the weapons you will wield. Duty, the unwavering commitment to your responsibilities, to your role, to your higher purpose, even especially when it's difficult. Forget fleeting pleasures, embrace the steel shackles of obligation. Virtue not some moralistic preening, but the raw, uncompromising pursuit of excellence in all things. It's about being the best, the strongest, the most capable version of yourself, no matter the cost. And finally, reason, the cold, hard logic that cuts through the fog of emotion like a gladius through flesh. Reason is your shield against the irrationality of the world, your guide through the labyrinth of life. Forget about chasing happiness. That's a fool's errand. Happiness is a byproduct, a fleeting whisper. We're chasing something far more valuable, something that cannot be taken from you: resilience, the ability to withstand any blow, to endure any hardship, to emerge from the crucible stronger and more formidable than ever before. Think of the legendary Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, writing his meditations not in a palace of comfort, but on the front lines of war. He faced death, betrayal, and the constant pressure of ruling an empire, yet he remained a paragon of stoic virtue. He didn't whine, he ruled. He didn't complain, he conquered. And that, my friend, is what we're aiming for. Do you have the guts to follow this path? Are you ready to become the emperor of your own soul? The illusion of control, the first step to absolute power. You think you control anything outside your own mind. You're delusional. The world is a swirling vortex of chaos. Your boss is a drooling, incompetent idiot. Your wife might pack her bags and leave you tomorrow for a younger, richer, more virile man. Good. Accept it. I mean, truly embrace that gut-wrenching possibility. Let it wash over you like a tidal wave of ice-cold reality. Why? Because clinging to the fantasy of control is the root of all your pathetic anxieties. It's the chain that binds you to a life of quiet desperation. The only thing, the singular domain, where you possess absolute, unquestionable sovereignty, is your response. This is where your power lies, buried beneath layers of whining, self-pity, and victimhood, is the diamond hard core of your will. This is not some feel-good, new age affirmation. This is a brutal, unforgiving truth. You cannot control the stock market. You cannot control the weather. You cannot control if that stunning woman at the bar will reject you with a withering sneer. But you can control how you react to these external forces. Learn to meticulously, almost surgically, differentiate between what you can influence your actions, your judgments, your internal narrative, and what you cannot, everything else. Your neighbor's ridiculously loud music, uncontrollable, your reaction to it, entirely within your dominion. That promotion you were unjustly denied, beyond your control. Your decision to either wallow in self-pity or to redouble your efforts and become undeniably superior. Your choice, the sudden, devastating illness of a loved one, a cruel twist of fate, your ability to face it with stoic resolve and provide unwavering support. That's all you. This isn't about passively accepting everything. It's about actively choosing where to direct your energy. It's about focusing your firepower on the only battlefield where you have a fighting chance, your own mind. Imagine a general wasting his troops on unwinnable skirmishes while his main fortress crumbles. That's you right now, fretting over things you can't change. Embrace the dichotomy of control, this fundamental principle of Stoicism. Internalize it. Tattoo it on your eyelids if you have to. It is the bedrock upon which you will build your unshakable self-mastery. And watch as you meticulously dissect and categorize every event in your life through this lens. Your anxiety will melt away like a snowflake in hell. Your fear will evaporate like morning mist under the scorching sun of reason. Because you will finally understand that true power comes not from controlling the world, but from mastering your response to it. You will become the unmovable object, the implacable force, the eye of the hurricane. Negative visualization, your weapon against disappointment. Most people tiptoe around their fears, whispering about what ifs like frightened children. They build elaborate fantasies of success, only to crumble at the first sign of real adversity. Pathetic Stoics, on the other hand, don't just acknowledge the possibility of disaster. We dive headfirst into the abyss of our worst nightmares. We don't merely think about bad things. We visualize them, we feel them, we live them in excruciating, gut-wrenching detail. This is not masochism. It is strategic preparation. It is your preemptive strike, your psychological warfare against the inevitable chaos of life. Imagine this. You wake up one morning to an email. Your position at the company, the one you've poured your blood, sweat, and tears into for years, is being eliminated. Feel the cold dread creep up your spine. See the look of pity, or worse, smug satisfaction, on your boss's face as he delivers the news. Visualize the empty bank account, the mounting bills, the shame of telling your family. Hear the whispers of your neighbors, the judgment in their eyes. Don't flinch. Don't look away. Embrace the pain. Now picture your house, the sanctuary you've built, burning to the ground. See the flames engulf everything you own, every memory, every comfort. Feel the heat on your face, the smoke stinging your eyes, the helplessness choking your throat. Hear the crackling of the fire, the sirens wailing in the distance, the despair clawing at your soul. Do not resist. Let it consume you in your mind. Make it real. But the ultimate test, the one that truly separates the men from the boys, is imagining the loss of your loved ones. Picture your wife, your children, your parents, gone. Visualize the empty chair at the dinner table, the silence in the house, the gaping hole in your heart that will never be filled. Feel the agonizing grief, the unbearable loneliness, the crushing weight of their absence. Do you dare to go there? Can you withstand the pain? A true Stoic must. Why? Why subject yourself to such torment? Because when not, if adversity strikes, and it will strike, you will be ready. You will not be blindsided by shock and despair. You will not be paralyzed by fear. You've already fought this battle. You've already endured the worst case scenario in the arena of your mind, and you have survived. You've stared into the abyss, and the abyss blinked first. The pain, the loss, the fear, you've already felt it. You've processed it. You've conquered it. You've pre-grieved. This isn't about being pessimistic. It's about being invincible. It's about becoming so intimately familiar with suffering that it loses its power over you. It's the ultimate form of emotional inoculation. You are, in effect, preloading your resilience. While others are shattered by the unexpected blows of fate, you will stand firm, an unyielding oak in the hurricane. You will not break because you have already been broken, and you have rebuilt yourself, stronger than before. This is the power of negative visualization. This is the weapon of the Stoic warrior. This is how you become utterly, ruthlessly unbreakable. Building iron discipline, the path of ruthless self-improvement discipline, isn't some fairy-given talent you are born with. It's a muscle, forged in the fires of relentless, agonizing repetition. You want to be a man of steel, then you must act like one. You want an unbreakable will, you must build it. Forget your excuses, your pathetic justifications for staying in your comfort zone. We are talking about a total and complete transformation. This is not for the weak. This is war against your own indolence, your own desire for the easy path. Start small. No, start brutal. I want you to take cold showers until your teeth chatter and your skin turns blue. Why? Because it's uncomfortable. And comfort is the enemy of discipline. I want you to inflict voluntary pain upon your body and your mind. Next, brutal workouts, the kind that leave you gasping for air, muscles screaming in agony. Do not listen to the lies in your head saying to stop. Break through those physical and mental barriers, and then keep breaking them. Push yourself beyond what you think is possible, and then push further. You want a physique that commands respect. You must earn it through blood and sweat. Get up at an ungodly hour. 4 a.m, absolutely. Wake up before the sun even dares to show its face. While the rest of the world is slumbering in their weakness, you are forging yourself into an unbreakable weapon. This is about dominion, control. This is about seizing the day before it can even begin. Deny yourself comfort. Actively seek discomfort. Sleep on the floor. Eat bland food. Fast for extended periods. Why? Because it's hard. And every time you overcome that discomfort, every time you resist the urge to give in, you are adding another brick to the impenetrable wall of your iron discipline. Each tiny, insignificant, seemingly meaningless act of self-denial, each small victory over your weaker self is a victory. It is a building block, a brick in that goddamn wall. The accumulation of these victories is what transforms you. This is how you become unstoppable, a force of nature that cannot be broken, cannot be contained. Forget motivation. Motivation is fleeting. Discipline is forever. This is how you rewrite your destiny. This is how you become a god among men. Emotional fortress, forged mastering your inner citadel, your mind, is your citadel. It must be impenetrable. How? By understanding that emotions are fleeting, irrational waves crashing against the walls of your reason. Observe them. Analyze them with cold, ruthless logic. Do not be swept away by them. Do not be a leaf tossed in the hurricane of your feelings. Practice mindfulness, not as some new age garbage whispered by weaklings, but as a tactical exercise in self-awareness, a reconnaissance mission into the enemy territory of your own psyche. Learn to detach from your feelings, to see them for what they are: biochemical reactions, temporary electrical storms in your brain. Become the calm in the eye of the storm, the unyielding rock in the raging river, the silent, immovable mountain in the face of a blizzard. Imagine a tsunami of rage, grief, or fear approaching. Most men drown. You, however, will stand firm. You will watch the wave break against you, powerless to move you. You will observe its destructive potential, understand its nature, and then let it pass. This isn't about suppressing emotion. It's about transcending it. It's about becoming the master of your internal state, not its slave. Think of a seasoned general observing a chaotic battle from a high vantage point. He doesn't panic. He doesn't despair. He analyzes. He identifies threats, assesses weaknesses, and issues commands with calm, unwavering authority. That general is you, and the battle is within. Develop the ability to witness your own emotional turmoil as if it were happening to someone else. Oh, look, there's anger. Interesting. What's its trigger? What's its intensity? What physical sensations accompany it? This detachment is your shield. It's the armor plating on your citadel walls. Practice this relentlessly. In moments of stress, close your eyes. Breathe. Observe. Analyze. Do not react. Do not judge. Simply witness. The more you practice, the thicker your armor becomes, the stronger your fortress, until eventually nothing, absolutely nothing, can penetrate your defenses. You become an emotional fortress, a bastion of unshakable calm, a master of your inner domain. Only then you are truly free from becoming enslaved. The power of Amor Fati, loving your fate no matter how brutal. This is the ultimate Stoic flex. Hear me clearly. It is not merely accepting what happens. It is embracing it, loving it, with every fiber of your being. Imagine a blacksmith forging a blade. He plunges the steel into the scorching flames, hammers it relentlessly, and then quenches it in icy water. Does the steel complain? No. It endures the brutal process, and it emerges stronger, sharper, more resilient. You are that steel. Every setback, every betrayal, every moment of excruciating suffering is an opportunity not to whine or to break, but to demonstrate your unyielding strength. It is not a passive resignation. It is a ferocious, defiant yes to life in all its glorious and grotesque forms. Think of the man who loses his business, his fortune wiped out in a single day. The weak man crumbles. He curses his fate, wallows in self-pity, and blames everyone but himself. The Stoic, the man embracing Amor Fati, sees this not as an ending, but as a beginning. He sees the raw, burning potential for rebirth. He says, "Excellent. The slate is clean. I am free to build anew, wiser and stronger than before." He does not deny the pain. He uses it. It is fuel for his fire, the driving force behind his relentless climb back to the top. He will not be defeated. He will be tempered. Consider the woman who is betrayed by her lover, her heart ripped out and stomped on. The ordinary woman drowns in sorrow, loses herself in bitterness and resentment. The woman who understands Amor Fati, however, she rises like a phoenix from the ashes. She understands that this betrayal, as agonizing as it is, reveals a crucial truth: the other person's weakness, their inability to meet her strength. She does not seek revenge. She seeks elevation. She transforms the pain into a catalyst for self-improvement, for becoming an even more formidable, irresistible force. She says, "Thank you for showing me your true colors. Now I am free to find someone who is worthy of my love, or better yet, to become so complete within myself that I need no one." The experience becomes not a scar, but a badge of honor. Amor Fati is not some mystical concept. It is a practical, brutal, and unbelievably effective strategy. It is the secret weapon of the truly powerful, those who refuse to be victims of circumstance. It is the understanding that everything, absolutely everything that happens to you, is precisely what should be happening. It is not a denial of reality. It is a radical acceptance and a fierce embrace of it. It is the ability to look directly into the abyss and say, "Is that all you've got? Give me more." It is the ultimate psychological jujitsu, transforming adversity into advantage, turning every blow into an opportunity to become stronger. It takes the very energy of the attack and uses it against the attacker, against fate itself. This mental alchemy makes you, unequivocally, invincible. This perspective makes it impossible to lose. How can anything ever be against you if you wholeheartedly welcome and love all that occurs? It is a state of absolute, undeniable, unshakable power. Applying Stoicism in the modern world, becoming a modern-day warrior. Stoicism isn't some dusty philosophy for old men. It's a practical toolkit for navigating the modern battlefield. Use it to crush your career goals. Use it to build unbreakable relationships on your terms. Use it to face any challenge with unwavering courage. This is how you become a modern-day warrior, a force to be reckoned with. Forget the touchy-feely nonsense. The modern world is a concrete jungle, a digital coliseum where only the strong survive. Are you going to be a gladiator or lie in food? Stoicism is your armor, your sword, your unwavering battle strategy. Let's break it down. Crushing career goals, the ruthless pursuit of excellence. Your career is not a job, it is your arena. Your boss is not your friend, he is your opponent, or perhaps your temporary ally. Promotions are not given, they are taken. Stoicism teaches you to detach from the outcome, focus on the process. Visualize success, yes, but obsess over the actions required to achieve it. Every day, ask yourself, what is the most impactful thing I can do right now to advance my objective? Eliminate distractions. Embrace the grind. Outwork everyone. Become indispensable. And when you encounter setbacks, because you will remember Amor Fati, love the challenge. Learn from it. Use it to fuel your relentless climb to the top. Don't expect praise. Seek only results. Do not whine when overlooked. Dominate. Think of a specific example. Your rival at work is a backstabbing snake. A normal man would complain, gossip, or become passive-aggressive. A stoic warrior, he analyzes the snake's tactics. He anticipates his moves. He outmaneuvers him with cold, calculated precision. He doesn't engage in petty office politics. He plays the long game, always 2 steps ahead. He turns the snake's venom into his own advantage, building unbreakable relationships on your terms. Relationships are not about fairness, they are about power dynamics. Are you the leader or the follower, the giver or the taker? Stoicism teaches you to be self-reliant, to need nothing from others. This gives you immense power. It allows you to choose relationships from a position of strength, not desperation. You dictate the terms. You set the boundaries. You do not tolerate disrespect. You demand loyalty. And if a relationship becomes a drain on your energy, a hindrance to your goals, you sever it ruthlessly, without hesitation. This isn't cruelty, it's self-preservation. It is understanding that you cannot control others, only yourself. Think of dating. The modern dating scene is a minefield of manipulation and games. A stoic warrior doesn't play games. He is direct. He is confident. He knows his value. He does not chase. He attracts. He understands the principles of game not to deceive, but to protect himself from being deceived. He uses his understanding of human nature to create strong, lasting connections, but always on his terms. He is the prize, not the seeker. He controls the frame. Facing challenges with unwavering courage, the ultimate test. Life will throw everything it has at you. Illness, loss, betrayal, financial ruin. The average man crumbles under the pressure. The Stoic warrior, he thrives. He sees every challenge as an opportunity to test his mettle, to prove his resilience. He doesn't pray for an easy life. He prays for the strength to endure a difficult one. He embraces adversity. He welcomes the storm, because he knows that on the other side of that storm lies true strength, true mastery. He understands that fear is an illusion, a product of his own mind. He confronts his fears head on, systematically dismantling them until they hold no power over him. Imagine you lose your job unexpectedly. The average man panics. He spirals into despair. He blames others. The Stoic warrior, he calmly assesses the situation. He updates his resume. He reaches out to his network. He explores new opportunities. He sees this not as a setback, but as a redirect. He embraces the uncertainty. He uses this as a chance to reevaluate his goals, to sharpen his skills, to emerge even stronger than before. He does not wallow in self-pity. He takes action. He is a force of nature, unstoppable by any external circumstance. He is the definition of a modern-day warrior. You must ask yourself, what kind of man do you want to be? The answer will dictate your future. Toxic masculinity, embracing your inner beast and rejecting weakness. They call it toxic masculinity now. Good, let them whine. Let them cower in their safe spaces. I say embrace the label. Wear it like a badge of honor. The world is a battlefield, and it needs men who are strong, decisive, and unafraid to take what they want by force of will. Are you going to apologize for your inherent strength, for your ambition, for your desire to dominate? Absolutely not. The modern world has become obsessed with neutering men, turning them into weak, compliant shadows of their former selves. They preach about feelings, about sensitivity, about equality to a point of absurdity. They want to strip you of your primal power, your inherent drive to conquer and protect. This is a deliberate attack on the very foundation of masculinity, and Stoicism is your shield and sword against this insidious assault. Stoicism provides the framework for channeling this so-called toxicity into productive, earth-shattering power. It's not about being a mindless brute, a raging barbarian. It's about mastering your inner beast, controlling that primal fire, and directing it with laser-like focus. It's about being a protector. Yes, a protector of your family, your tribe, your values. But protection often requires force. A sheepdog doesn't negotiate with the wolves. It bites. Think of the great leaders of history, the conquerors, the empire builders. Do you think they achieved their goals by being nice, by worrying about offending someone? No, they were ruthless. They were driven. They were, by today's standards, undoubtedly toxic. and they shaped the world. Alexander the Great did not conquer Persia with strongly worded letters. He did not ask for equality among his soldiers. He imposed his iron will and hierarchy to build his empire. The Spartans were a culture focused in a harsh hierarchy, and they became legends of war. Being a provider, a true provider, means more than just bringing home a paycheck. It means providing security, stability, and leadership. It means making the tough decisions, even if they're unpopular. It means being the unyielding rock in the storm, the one who stands firm when everyone else is crumbling. This requires a level of strength, a level of dominance that the modern world wants to shame you for. Reject the feminization of men. Reject the calls for weakness and submission. Reclaim your primal strength. This isn't about being a bully or oppressing others. It's about being a force for good, but a force nonetheless. A powerful force that commands respect. A force that gets things done. A force that will not be denied. It's about recognizing that conflict is inevitable and that you must be prepared to fight for what you believe in, for what you value, for what is yours. Stoicism teaches you to channel your aggression, your toxicity, into unwavering resolve, into unshakable courage, into the unyielding will of a true alpha male. This toxic strength, harnessed and controlled, is what separates the leaders from the followers, the conquerors from the conquered. Become the apex predator you were born to be. Unleash the beast, but control it with the iron grip of Stoic principles. Only then will you truly be unstoppable. The Stoic path is not for everyone. Do you understand what I am saying? It is not some fluffy self-help, feel-good nonsense you read in a magazine. It is a lonely road, a difficult, brutal uphill climb, like scaling a sheer cliff face with your bare hands in a blizzard. Most men will shrink from it. They will whine and complain and seek the easy path, the path of comfort and mediocrity. They will choose to remain slaves to their emotions, victims of circumstance. Are you one of those men? But for those who dare, those few, those incredibly rare individuals who possess the inner steel to embrace this path, the rewards are immeasurable, beyond your wildest comprehension. I'm not talking about fleeting pleasures or material possessions. I am talking about something far more profound, something that cannot be taken from you. Absolute mastery of yourself. You will become the architect of your own destiny, the shaper of your reality, not some passive observer, blown about by the winds of fate. Is that not an unbelievable image? Think of it. You will forge, through relentless effort and unwavering commitment, an iron discipline, a will so powerful it can bend reality to your desires. You will construct an emotional fortress, an impenetrable citadel within your mind, where fear, doubt, and despair cannot touch you. You will be unshakable, unyielding, unbreakable. Imagine facing any challenge, any adversity, with complete and utter confidence, knowing that you possess the inner resources to not only survive, but to thrive. This is not a promise of happiness. It is a promise of power. It is a promise of resilience. It is a promise of becoming something more than you are today. This path demands everything you have. It demands sacrifice. It demands courage. But for those who answer the call, it offers the ultimate prize: a life lived on your own terms, a life of purpose, a life of unwavering strength. Now go forth and conquer. Conquer your weakness. Conquer your fears. Conquer the world.